सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप.
Ladies and gentlemen, the US Embassy in India put out a reminder, rather a warning, asking all visa applicants from India to compulsorily list all social media usernames and handles on every platform that the individual may have held in the last 5 years. The consequence of omitting social media handles is outright denial of an American visa and ineligibility for future visas. Now, my question is, if the US imposes such strong visa requirements on screening social media accounts of visa applicants, should we not do the same for them? Let's impose reciprocity there, which means there's a woke left-lib person who abuses India all the time and is applying for a visa to India, the person should be denied. I think that should be the case. Under every category, such a person should not be given a visa. Let's debate.
The US Embassy in India has issued new guidelines for visa applicants. List all your social media accounts or risk visa denial. Under Trump 2.0, United States has been keeping a close watch on the immigrants.
We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy that will prevent foreign nationals from coming to the United States to foment hatred against our Jewish community. We are holding international organizations and nations accountable for rhetoric against Israel that resurfaces in the manifesto of monsters.
Anti-government protests on US campuses have been a major trigger behind this changed stance.
If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa.
Republic asked Ministry of External Affairs whether India will bring in a reciprocal policy.
On the guidelines that has been issued by the US Embassy with regards to visa applicants, as in their social media handles will be they will be kept in check. So is India going to do something of the same sort, or is it required that we bring in something similar to that or reciprocal to visa applicants here in India?
On the guidelines regarding visa issues, yes. You see, visa matters, immigration matters are matters which pertain to sovereign functions of any country. But having said that, we have seen the guidelines issued by the US side, the US Embassy here, US government, regarding providing details of social media identifiers in visa applications. But it is our belief that all visa applications of Indian nationals should be treated on the basis of merit, and we remain engaged with the US side on all mobility issues and consular issues to ensure that the legitimate interests of Indian nationals are safeguarded.
While the United States under Trump is taking serious measures, why shouldn't India also filter anti-India elements before allowing visa to them? Should India too adopt social media checks for granting visas?
Karthikeya Tanna, I want to go to you first because you're an immigration attorney and a political commentator. You think we can impose the same thing because all these wokes want to come to India, to abuse Modi, to abuse the Modi government, support Pakistan and do it openly here in the name of academia and various other, guises. Can we also block them?
Yes, absolutely, because visa issuance, remember, is a privilege and not a right. And a significant factor in the issuance of visas, whether in the United States or in India, is the foreign policy and national interest of the United States. I mean, for example, US has long barred people who have had membership in the Communist Party or any totalitarian party. And that's been a question on every immigration application since 1950s. So obviously, if it is India's national interest not to allow people who, either profess certain kind of views or have belonged to certain organizations which are antithetical to India's interests, absolutely India has the right as a sovereign country to place restrictions. But by the way, Arnab, as an immigration attorney, I should mention this, disclosure of social media accounts is not a new phenomenon. It has been there since the first Trump administration, and by the way, on forms. And Biden administration did not remove that either. What has changed, of course, is that they're going to use that information to also check if there's anti-Semitism and other things that are again.
Yeah. Also, we also want to check whether someone coming to India is anti-Hindu. If there are people coming to India who are anti-Hindu, right, who talk about Brahminical oppression, try to oppose Hinduism in every form. We had that former Twitter guy, didn't we, Kapil, who came to India and then stood with some loser journalists. I don't know if they were on their payrolls. Right? So we should have
I think Jack Dorsey was just clueless. He didn't have an idea what he was holding.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why should we be so generous to people who abuse us? We'll also stop them.
Allow me to make my
yes,
point.
Absolutely. And for example, India.
Or maybe if Rahul Gandhi goes to the US and meets Ilhan Omar, maybe we should stop him from re-entering the country till he explains why he met Ilhan Omar.
Arnab, we all know your obsession about Rahul Gandhi.
Or you go to China and sign an agreement with China. You can't come back without explaining what you signed. No, we need to find out the social media policy of everyone entering our country.
Arnab, it's an important issue. Let's talk sensibly and allow me to make my point. You're trying to mix two issues here. I agree with you to an extent that it is the prerogative of the government to ensure that no individual or part of any organization who has interest against the interest of our nation should not be allowed here. There cannot be any doubt about it. That should be the policy.
Yeah, on that, just one point. Natasha Kaul, who testified against India. Natasha Kaul, who testified against India on Kashmir before a US congressional panel, cannot be allowed to enter the country or have an OCI card.
Arnab, now what you are basically trying to say is...
I'm not trying to say, I'm saying it.
Someone is against our nation or not basis their social media posts. Not tomorrow's...
Yeah, how else do you want me to figure? You want me to do a narco test?
I think if this is the mechanism that you will need to use to judge...
No, I'm fine. I'll do a narco test, but then you'll say I'm against human rights.
We have a WhatsApp misinformation university. This would be a WhatsApp intelligence agency, which will work on this.
Serious baat karo. You are down on the floor and crying right now. You're not being able to debate with me tonight.
Figment of their own imagination. What I am trying to say here is that if this is the basis on which you will decide someone gets the visa or not, then I say this with a sense of responsibility that this would be an intelligence run by a WhatsApp university fiddled with misinformation.
Okay.
You will, of course, you will have...
Okay, thank you. 1 minute. Kapil.
Whether someone gets visa or someone doesn't get visa, but if basis that tomorrow you will say you post, few, LinkedIn or, social media, Twitter posts to praise a particular country to get a visa. That's how your intelligence will work.
Okay, Kapil, now have you completed? I mean, do you need to speak so long to make a point?
No,
I understood,
no? The point is...
Be smart. You're a smart guy. You complete your point quickly, like me.
It's absolutely stupidity. If someone has introduced a stupid regulation, it's not necessary for us to, fall in that, stupidity. And of course, let me also tell you, there are constitutional safeguards. We have,
our constitutional safeguard, my foot.
Of course, yes.
My foot.
You go and read judgments. In fact, there is a constitution judgment in your name, which has been quoted everywhere. Which
my
is
name?
Landmark judgment. I am saying
my
your
name?
Judgment, people. Your
my name? Why are you dragging me into this?
No, I am saying because in fact, I wanted to quote a judgment. Because your judgment, your name is being now, held.
That's all right. You people have put me in jail so many times. I'm on every judgment. Every time I get bail, there's a judgment in my name. That's all right. Now listen to me.
Arnab.
My serious note, I want to get an Abhijit and Pula Rao. See, just give me a moment. See, by the way, I'll just complete. Abhijit, all of this said by Kapil Madan, the man who said that the US was good in denying Narendra Modi a visa, despite the fact that the Supreme Court cleared him in every case. Says the man who said India's Prime Minister, then Chief Minister of Gujarat, very good, he was denied a visa. Says the man, tomorrow Kapil Madan will say Khalistani sympathizers should get a visa. Tomorrow he will say the people from the Babbar Khalsa and God knows what else, right, will get a visa. No, you will say that. You're woke. You're a woke man, and Abhijit will take you on and tear apart your wokeness. Abhijit!
There are two issues here. The first is Mr. Madan doesn't seem to know the difference between WhatsApp, Twitter and Facebook. Okay, WhatsApp can be anything. Twitter and Facebook, you only put up what you want. There are extremely good forensic tools out in public where you can go back to somebody's earliest posts, replies and things like that and very clearly tell what this particular person's inclinations are, who he has supported, etc., etc. So, you know, I don't know if he owns a smartphone or anything. He may not be up to date on modern technology, but he should really get up to date on modern technology. That's number one. Number two, the problem with the Indian visa system, where we absolutely should be checking people's Twitter and Facebook accounts, LinkedIn, all of that, is the biggest issue there is zero accountability. You know, our visa section in Canada, for example, is known to take money from Khalistanis and pass it up the chain and give people visas. There are people that IB and RAW have blacklisted in Pakistan, where the successive ambassadors to Pakistan have overruled and given visas to come for Aman Ki Tamasha and nonsense like that. First of all, we should not have any visa officers abroad. It all needs to be a blind process centralized in India.
Centralized, exactly.
By ambassadors. And absolutely, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of these need to be scrutinized. If somebody comes into India and turns out to be, a Pakistan sympathizer, or like this fellow Zoran Mamdani, a full-blown jihadist, what needs to happen is the visa officer who gave the visa needs to face serious career consequences.
It's a deterrent. You see, the example from Pulla first. Pulla, then I'll come to you. Pulla has not spoken. Now, the fact is, Pulla, we need to learn from history. David Coleman Headley entered India, American national, clean passport, set up for 2611. You see, why should we be the liberal guys? Come abuse me, come to my country, do business.
One thing I'm really surprised.
What?
This is a Me Too situation. You're copying. If the US government did not bring this in, that means the Indian government also would not bring it in. Where is the initiative? Where are the ideas in this government?
What kind of argument is that? If they are doing a good thing, I support them.
They should have done this long ago. One more point. You know, you get 1,000 guys coming through the airport. There are 5 lakhs jumping over the borders from Nepal and Bangladesh. They have a free run. You should have a uniform policy. I would like to say, if you want security in this country, there are no two issues about it. Security. Then it should be comprehensive, very holistic. You just simply can't say, you apply to the embassy and now I go through. You can just go to Nepal and come by bus. Nobody stops you. You can jump over from Bangladesh. Easy. Where is this?
But through social media, you can find out a lot. Through social media, you can find out whether the person has been a member of ISIS.
Okay. Does the Rohingya have social media from Rakhi?
Yeah, if a Rohingya has links, I can find out. I can find out a lot from their social media fingerprint.
Small issue.
I can.
One small issue.
Oh, so you want
5 crore bogus Aadhaar cards. Has government done anything about it?
Karthik.
Now something very fanciful comes out and we all clamor. I'm not saying this is bad.
You're confusing
we need
issues.
Security.
One is an additional layer of checks. You are talking about refining the system. This is talking about adding an additional layer of checks in the system. You're comparing apples and oranges. Where is the comparison? So the police doesn't work properly, so you want to abolish the police.
How many people, Mr. Iyer, come through the airports? Very few, maybe 0.01%. The others just walk in. What I'm trying to say is, why has the government slept through these 11 years? I wish somebody would answer.
Your answer should be set up electrified border fences all over.
Yes.
Not reduce vigilance. Not reduce vigilance at that 1% who come in through airports, right?
No, I don't say that. You have vigilance. It should not be that you guard the front door and the back door and the guys loot through the back door. You grab the front door. You have full security and the back door is open. That's what they're doing.
There are 12 million people who came through the US southern border.
No, but he's not denying. 1 minute, Karthik. He's not denying that Trump is doing a good thing, because look at it from an American perspective, right? Some jihadist or person with a jihadi mindset comes into America, takes the advantages of American democracy to weaken it from within. Similarly, some jihadist or a woke or an anti-India person enters India, uses Indian democracy to weaken it from within, we should allow it. I mean, you're a fine one. Karthik, I don't know. I think Kapil and Bulla have lost this one. I think they've lost this one. Karthik to Kapil. Karthik and Kapil. Karthik. Windows, Karthik.
On the point that Kapil mentioned about, your case, Arnab, you're an Indian national. What we are discussing about is foreign nationals whose entry into India is a matter of privilege and not a right. Arnab, so obviously freedom of speech and expression does apply to you. But when it comes to actual visa issuance, whether or not to approve, whether or not to even issue in the first place, or whether or not to revoke. For example, for OCI, I mean, well before all this controversy erupted, for OCI, we have restrictions. They cannot come here and do missionary, tablighi activities, mountaineering activities, or even journalistic activities for that matter. And it's for good reason. So I think India has the sovereign right to identify what issues arise from foreign nationals coming in and what ruckus they create and what issues they create, and then thereby set policy and change it from time to time, evolve it from time to time, in order to make sure that, while we have the wokes in India, while we have the, Jai Chands in India, we don't want any more to enter from, across the border or even outside India. Like, why shouldn't India be allowed to do that? We have enough Jai Chands in our own country. And we have our hands full dealing with them, so we can obviously restrict entry of those other, people who want to essentially weaken India from within. Arnab, so I agree with you.
I think Ilan Omar should not be allowed into India. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think, Kapil?
With Canada and Mexico, 4,000 or 5,000
Kapil will want Ilan Omar to come here.
No, I'm sorry, Arnab. I will not make any comment on any individual.
Why won't you? I'm not talking about an imaginary individual.
That's the prerogative.
I'm talking about your Rahul Gandhi's best friend.
Now, if someone is critical of you, Arnab, I mean, that's your prerogative. That's the test. That's exactly I wanted to highlight. But allow me to first respond to Mr. Mitra. Mr. Mitra said that, WhatsApp is different, Twitter is different. And he was just telling me that I'm not updated. WhatsApp also has a feature wherein you can have a channel where you can disseminate information to public at large, which can be accessed by everyone. Perhaps he's not aware, but it's not. Mr. Mitra is not relevant for the debate. I think our subject is more relevant. I just wanted to, correct him where he was wrong. Now allow me to make my point here. Again, I would say, whatever you are saying, I am with you. There should not be any person who is against our nation. He should not be given entry here. But I think the mode and manner through which you want to use this and apply is nonsensical. Only on the basis if you think someone makes his social media post from private to public, that should be the basis on which you will decide someone is against our nation or someone is not against our nation.
It's not a social media post. It's a starting. My point is,
let me tell you.
Talking about things you have not even read. Have you even read the basic research that the public is
the person who heads
this is WhatsApp misinformation.
Immigration office, that's the basis
Abhijit,
which you want to decide.
Abhijit Lada.
This is an additional check. That isn't the sole basis of making the assessment.
Exactly.
There is a whole bunch of things. This is an additional layer of assessment. Your WhatsApp is your personal number. Notice even in the American notification, they do not include your WhatsApp.
That's why what happens, half knowledge is always very dangerous. Go and check. Now you have a feature where you can have your public channel by way of WhatsApp.
Oh God, this man thinks he's made a discovery of a WhatsApp channel.
American notification does not ask for your WhatsApp.
I mean,
do you understand that? Do you speak English, Mr. Madan?
I'm
speaking in English.
You are expert in technology. You are also
Tamil,
expert in international law. So it's not.
10 seconds.
No, Karthik, please. Last word to Karthik.
Give me 10 seconds.
It's not about the technology.
Give me 10 seconds.
It's about the
Kapil, by the way, in the visa application form, it's not just social media accounts, it's also all phone numbers you have used in the last 5 years. So if the US wants, they can access those so-called public WhatsApp channels. End of debate. I mean, why are we debating on, what WhatsApp can do and what WhatsApp cannot? The phone numbers are also to be included in the form. And since 2018.
I think you've not. All I'm trying to, now let's assume a situation where a person, posts positively about India, but technically he is someone who is, working against the interest of our nation. Would you use social media posts to determine whether he should be given entry or not? I mean, that's your intelligence work. No, you have immigration department.
Okay, now I think that is, as has been said, social media is not the only. Social media is not the. Yeah, he said it before, and social media is not the only sliver. There are several slivers. Social media is an important one. If you have nothing to hide, why agitate? At 9 o'clock this evening, thank you for that. At 9 o'clock this evening, why I believe it's time for a total boycott of Pakistanis, and why I think Diljit Dosanjh facing a boycott call deserves no sympathy.
Two technologies.
Endless possibilities.
Grand Vitara Strong Hybrid. All grip select driven by tech.
Nexa.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।